And we are back, episode 153 of Journey to Million here on this Wednesday night. We are going to figure out if Ashton Doolin is a top 25 fantasy receiver tonight. I am excited. We're going to be going through 25 fantasy receiver rankings averaged amongst the three of us. Zack Rausch, Jared Valleskey, myself, Drew Skyberg. Be exciting. And overall, of course, we have to talk about free agency too. I mean, can't even forget about that. All the signings that have happened and taking place in the trades even. It's been a very eventful last couple of days. Excited to talk through it all. But look, Jared's supporting the shoe down below. Nice.
Yeah, of course.
Whereas Zach and I are not. We're supporting our respective teams. Zach's supporting his phone. He's supporting Apple right now.
No, I'm looking at a Sports Center post.
Okay.
Yeah, supporting Sports Center.
Big week for the Colts. Big week for the Colts. Probably the biggest week in Colts franchise in years. I'm not even kidding. We haven't spent like $1 in free agency, like going out and like signing new players since DeForest Buckner, maybe like
Feels
3
good,
4 years ago. Yeah, I mean, we needed a secondary and we got it. So it's like I liked the Bynum signing, and I was like, wow, we actually got Bynum, and then all of a sudden Ward comes through, and I was like, damn, we just got Trevarius Ward. So
two solid guys.
Yeah.
Just mean Tyler Warren in the draft?
Yeah, we need a tight end now. I mean, I think that's why we went out, because we were going to draft a safety or a cornerback.
I thought you guys lose a couple linemen too.
We lost what's his name?
Will Fries and
Will Fries was a backup, and then Ryan Kelly went to the
He was a backup? He got
Will
like
Fries,
18 million a year.
Will Fries was a backup. Our line is Ryan Kelly, Braden Smith, not Glowinski, he used to be there. We signed him again, but Quentin Nelson, Bernard Raymond, and then depending on if like health wise, we had either Will Fries or we would have like what was his name? We don't have him anymore either.
Oh, so he was a starter.
Sounds like he started most of the year last year because injuries, but he was a backup. Taven Bryant, I think his name was. Yeah, that sounds right. But no, we needed a safety and a cornerback, and we went out and got it. So now we can focus on a tight end. I hope we get Warren, not Loveland, but either way.
I thought you all were gonna get Evan Ingram before we went to the Broncos. I thought that made sense. I mean, obviously the Broncos makes a great amount of sense. That's a great spot.
I think I'm happier with this though, because like if you look at Brock Bowers, I'm not saying Tyler Warren's gonna be Brock Bowers, but like the Raiders have their tight end for the next 10 years if he stays with the team, obviously. Evan Ingram's like 33 years old. I mean, that's like a 2-year kind of thing. So
I thought
from a fantasy perspective, I'm hoping Warren does not go to Indianapolis.
Daniel Jones be throwing dimes. What do you mean?
That was surprising. I didn't think he was the backup they were going with. I think that was the big thing for me. But yeah, to Zach's point, Warren, the ideal spot is not there.
Ideally, it would be LA. Probably for Warren.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Jelani Woods is coming back too. So
yes, the breakout.
Yeah.
No, I thought. I were there in terms of the free agency signs. What did you guys feel for you was the biggest surprise? Obviously, Fields to the Jets comes in mind for me, but
I don't know what the Steelers are doing. To be honest, the Steelers don't have a quarterback after Wilson leaves, but they're signing they just signed another defensive player, and they got Najee's gone. Yeah, but Wilson, they're both visiting other teams. The Giants might sign one, and the Browns might sign the other. So it's like they don't have a quarterback, but they're getting rid of Najee. They're signing defensive players. They're signing offensive linemen. Is Kyle Allen going to be their starter? Skylar Thompson? They don't have anyone right now. So that was surprising to me, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't get Russ and they don't get Rodgers, they are just about in as bad of a situation as you can be.
Mm-hmm.
They have to draft. I mean, they have to trade up, maybe. But I don't want to force them to do that. But
maybe. I mean, at that point,
you're trying a guy like Dart, but
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you could argue that right now they're in the worst place you can be. That whole 18 to 19th pick kind of thing, where you get you make the playoffs, but you don't do anything.
Yeah.
You can compare them to the Steelers. It's the worst place to be.
Okay,
so maybe tanking is good for them. Who knows?
We're acting. I mean, besides, right? I mean, they got DK Metcalf, right? Obviously, they signed him, gave him some money, but DK, what?
The Metcalf trade with the contract.
Yeah. I'm saying like obviously that component too with him, but they extended him. But the point that I think you all are about to make too is he needs someone to throw him the ball.
Yeah.
Also, like for me, like I feel like that is one of the teams that didn't really make sense for Metcalf.
Mm-hmm.
Like Metcalf and Pickens are kind of the same type of receiver.
I thought same.
So,
the vertical deep threat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they could have used. Obviously, Godwin didn't make it to free agency and wasn't going to go anywhere, but like that's the kind of guy that they could have used. Like somebody that's like a slot guy, or like somebody that's not George Pickens, DK Metcalf.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw that trade, I don't know, that it didn't make sense to me, but
yeah,
I wonder if Pickens is potentially gone now. You could get traded. So
yeah,
but I don't know if I like that for. I guess Pittsburgh, like, okay, you just swap out guys and you gave a guy an extension right in that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it just kind of seems, and also draft capital.
I think they should have, if they were smart, they should have signed. They should have tried to sign Justin Fields again to like a 1-year deal. That would have been like ideal for me because they were like 3-1 when he was starting, and he was all right. And then Wilson started. I know he wasn't putting up many points. They were winning games though, and
they just had a tough end of the year, really. And okay, they had a spot at corner. They had a weakness. They get Slay, and then it's kind of like just some other guys they got in there. Malik Harrison.
They have great names on defense. Their defense is going to be great.
Great.
Every year
it's a safe story.
Yeah,
but
and it's just enough to win them a few games by 1-score games. They might win 7-8 games again, 9 games, but that's about it.
When you have at best average at quarterback, it's tough to make it to that next level, and we've seen that continuously with them. So
the best team that I've seen make it far with an average quarterback was the 49ers with Jimmy G, and like we never thought they'd win it. Like we thought maybe they have a chance, but it was always like, oh, he does just enough. Well, I don't think Kyle Allen or Skylar Thompson is going to be able to do just enough to win some games for them. So they need a Rodgers. They need even like a Minshew, someone that can just fill in for a year or something until they can tank and get a better quarterback or trade for a quarterback. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, but I mean,
who's the winner of free agency? I mean, well, so far, but I guess most guys are pretty much off the board. So
the loser, I can tell you the loser, the 49ers. They lost literally everyone. I mean, maybe that's what they're going for, but they lost everyone.
Like, you knew this was coming, right? Like most of those guys are upper 20s, pushing 30, but it was going to come eventually. That
team was in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, though. Like,
yeah,
it's hard to see that, but I don't know.
Well, it was just,
it's like the Eagles are going to be in the same situation in 2-3 years. Like it's part of the game pretty much.
You can say I'm wrong here, but honestly, I want to say that the winner is the Vikings. I think they've made
surprised me.
Yeah, they've made a lot of underrated signings. What does that say? Panthers 1 year deal. Oh, Rico Dowdle to the Panthers. Weird.
Oh, that is weird.
Interesting.
But yeah, the Vikings are they're making a lot of underrated signings. I'm
so surprised.
1-2 year deals that could work out for them. I know players that you guys haven't heard of, like Deo Dengbo. You're like, who is this guy? Where is he coming from?
Chicago.
Or he was Chicago. Who's the Ryan Kelly went to Chicago. I went to the Vikings.
Ryan Kelly. Yep. They got Will Fries as well.
Will Fries, yep. So both of them
got the Vikings. Byron Murphy,
Jonathan Allen, and then
Isaiah Rodgers.
Oh, yeah. So we talked about they had the most free agents like of their team, that would become unrestricted free agents. They had the most.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In terms of snap count. So makes sense that they have also a lot of guys then to sign or maybe re-sign or like lot elsewhere, which we've seen. So I am surprised with the amount of signings that have came in terms of we knew with the draft capital and stuff. And We saw they also got a compensation pick too for losing Darnold. I saw. So like, looking at like we talked about their limited draft capital, they just gained a nice pick there. I think it was like a third rounder because of being a quarterback. So that's a plus for them. I was really surprised about Jonathan Allen. I thought that signing right away. Like obviously when they said he was going to visit there, and like it was just like they really tightened up the defensive line. I thought. Furthermore, the offensive line, really the trenches was where this team could have, improved. I feel, and I feel like they did just that. So,
where do you guys think Trey Hendrickson's going? He's like the biggest name out there, I think, right now that still has to sign somewhere.
Well,
or they have to trade him. He's not a free agent, but
yeah, either Washington or I think he's just going to end up in Cincinnati. Either. I don't know. I see it tough for them. Like they seem pretty set in stone on not paying Higgins over him, which is stupid. But I mean,
I've seen a lot of Indian rumors.
Right now, so.
Not being biased, but I've seen a lot of rumors that the Colts are looking to trade for him. Not done in free agency.
Do you think that makes sense?
I don't think it does, but I'll take a big name when we can get one. I haven't seen that in a long time, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to pay him. Probably 35 plus a year.
Well, what else do we need? We needed a secondary, and we got it. Now we just need a tight end. We'll have competition. I mean, it's a mid-off.
Yeah, but that's what the Steelers had last year,
Well, no, it wasn't. It's not that. It's the Steelers don't have a 22-year-old quarterback that has upside of, his upside. Like, they don't have that. But
yeah,
I'm not saying Richardson's going to be this amazing player. I'm just saying he has the potential to be. They had Russell Wilson, who we saw his value of the year before, and then Justin Fields, who's trying to revive his career. Like Richardson's technically a third-year player. He's like a second-year player. He can still produce. And Daniel Jones was a Pro Bowler. He was great 2 years ago. I mean, I don't know. It's there's upside there. I'm just saying there's
yeah. But I'm saying like a move like that is you have like you're going all in for a championship. I think, like, personally, I think where the Colts are, unless Richardson makes, turns into a top 10 quarterback this year, I don't think the Colts are going to win the Super Bowl, no matter how good their defense is.
No. Probably not, yeah.
So, for me, that doesn't make sense to...
That's why they signed him for 4-year, 3-year deals. You're talking about Daniel Jones, that Jones signing, or you're talking about Hendrickson, the trade?
I'm saying if you're going to give up capital, trade for Hendrickson, and then sign him to a huge extension.
Yeah.
That's why they're signing. Washington would make a lot of sense, but
the Colts
teams who want to win now.
Colts are preparing for like 4 years, opening their window for 4 or 5 years, where Ward signed for 4, Bynum signed for 4. So Hendrickson, we'd have to sign, like you said, an extension, but at that rate, is it worth like devoting that much to 3 players? We have to re-sign our guys too. Buckner's coming up on his contract's coming up like next year or the year after. We just re-signed like a bunch of rookie players that just came off the rookie deals. And then you have the whole like receiver issue with Pittman, and you don't even know if Pittman's going to be your guy or if it's going to be Downs as your number 1. So I think you're right. Don't spend anymore.
They need to they have some work to do before they can make an all-in move.
I agree.
They're not an all-in team right now, or they shouldn't be.
Yeah. I had 3 other winners I want to give some love to. I thought the Bills, what they did was really nice. I thought the Palmer signing, they go out, they get Bosa as well. They extend Shakir, and obviously the Josh Allen, they got that done. So that was good. Also thought...
Did they sign? Who did they sign today?
Rousseau. I mean, there's more guys. I didn't even mention Terrell
Bernard.
Hopkins with the Ravens.
That's right.
I thought also the Panthers, they had a lot of cap space available. They went out, they allocated it. I thought they did a nice job with the defense. I think that's going to be what many people are going to think needed to improve, and they went and did just that. I also thought the Patriots then, sticking in the AFC East, I thought they had a lot of cap, as we know, available. They got Moses. I mean, they got Lyman to help protect May, and then also defensive side, they got Carlton Davis.
I'm gonna say obviously the Bears, right? Like they on paper,
I was gonna say
had
the
a great
Bears.
offseason. But like
Mhm.
they've made a lot of moves that I liked. But going off back to the Patriots, I like what they did on defense, but they didn't add any skill guys, right? Like it's their draft better be all offense. Like,
Mhm.
like,
Didn't they
even if they,
re-sign? It wasn't Jacoby Myers, was it? Did
They got
re-sign
Matt
Jacoby-
Collins. They went out and got him.
yeah,
I
that's
thought
their
which
big
as
offensive
a
move.
in terms of blocking
like
receiver, one of the best
yeah.
in the business. So, but yeah, they got to draft a top guy, or we talk about some of those teams going for a receiver. You talk about what if Pickens comes. I thought they would have been a nice team for Metcalf, or if one of those other top receivers comes available.
Because number 4 overall, Ashton Genty.
I want to hear
No.
you out, not just saying his name. Speak more.
Could happen. I mean, think about Vrabel back in Tennessee, right? They ran a physical team, both sides of the ball. New England just went out and made a bunch of defensive moves, just trying to shore up their defense. They're kind of limited on weapons right now, rookie quarterback. What better way to make it easier on him than get one of the best running prospects in the last 10 years?
Okay.
How much is that going to help them, though?
Well,
I mean, their running game was not good last year. So
no.
Well, they also have a rookie quarterback last year, so they relied more on their running game.
But also think about who would they draft that for? They've been mocked for trying to get Travis Hunter, right? They've been mocked in spots like that. Well, I bring that up because they just signed Carlton Davis, right? They have Christian Gonzalez. I mean, I don't that I could see it more now. Obviously, that they're ruled out for quarterback. Edge is a different
outside
story.
Of
they got Landry.
Outside of McMillan maybe, but from the way it sounds like he's slipping down boards a little bit. Like he may be back around late single digits, early teens.
Yeah.
The way it's been sounding. But I mean, they could trade back maybe, but I mean, other than that, if you take a tackle first round and now you're back to where you were last year, hoping you hit on a second round receiver to be a number 1 and as a rookie.
You don't want to be in that spot. We saw Hyatt, we saw Polk.
I mean, Glad turned out, but that's it's you just don't want to be in that spot of relying on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Receivers?
Do we want to? Yeah. Zach, I had one question though. When you replaced your number 24 guy, you were talking about the rookie, right? You're not talking about that Buccaneers receiver?
Oh, no. I'm talking about the rookie.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
I put McMillan at 24 if you're curious, Drew.
Yeah.
Wow.
You were the only one to include him, so he ended up being a honorable mention. I included 4 honorable mentions just because I wanted to throw every name out there that was listed. So the other 3 are DK, Waddle, McMillan, and Pickens.
We're not listing honorable mentions. We're looking at top 20. Hold on, bear with me. We're gonna get the
who had each of those on their list?
Sorry, you cut out. All right, I cut out. What was that?
Who had each of those on their list? Obviously, I had McMillan.
Yep.
Who had Pickens? Who had?
So I had Pickens at 25 on my list, and then I had Waddle at 23. So they were kind of throwing names. But DK
is this Pickens after Metcalf trade?
This was yeah. That's why I think no one else put DK. I think one of you guys had DK. Let me just open up to see.
Drew, did you have DK? I didn't have DK.
Drew had DK at 23. Yeah. So they don't count. Nothing included there. But
yeah, are we starting up at 1?
No, we're gonna start at 25 and work up.
Or we're working our way back. So we're going through.
1 up there.
Well, we're not gonna yet because we don't know. No, we don't
25
know.
Receivers.
We have no idea who number 1 is.
All right.
So we'll start with there's a 3-way tie with 25 and 24. I'm just going to throw out the names. You can just put one of them down.
Yep.
Tied for 25 was Xavier Worthy, Cortland Sutton, and Jamison Williams.
JMO made it?
Drew had him at 22. He was the only one that had him in the top 25.
Well, they could
He's
support
up for trade
two
if you
top.
want him.
They could support 2 top 24 receivers. We're talking fantasy,
Right?
and a little bit. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
He's up
Nobody
for
else
trade.
had him there. Yeah. And then 24, before we get into the one name positions, 24, we had a tie between Chris Olave, Roma Dunze, and Jordan Addison. So I think Drew had Addison at 21.
So I put Addison.
Zach, I don't think you had
I
Addison.
have either of them.
You had
Really?
Dunze at
How do you not have
25.
Addison in the top 25?
Yeah.
He's not going to be top 25. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I don't like Olave, but I still give him credit just because he's the only one there. So I put him at 21.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now this is the one that's going to surprise Zach, I think. Maybe not as much, but 23 we have Chris Godwin.
God, you guys are way too low on him.
Zach had him at 16.
Wow.
Drew did not include him,
Oh my God.
and neither did I.
I had him at hold on.
Carrying him.
I had him in between 26 and 30. Injury concerns
Yeah.
are obviously the
Yep.
front runner in that, Zach.
It's a freak injury.
Yeah.
Not true. But yeah, you were the only one that had him.
Which
So it was
Well, I'm glad I got him on the list.
yeah. What I did, just so you know, I already told you, so you had him at 16. Neither of us had him. So I did 16 plus 26 plus 26
fair.
and divided by 3.
But no, talking more about it. Others are so high on McMillan, but also Evans. So I find it tough. That's three guys in the top 25. So
If you're high on McMillan after Godwin goes back, like, you should quit fantasy.
but
Well,
there's
there's always
saying-
upside. You never know.
I'm obviously, and of course wishing Godwin the best. I just know with the injury last year, the concern with age. Obviously, you think Bucky Irving's the number 7 running back in fantasy. Something's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think that's the other thing too.
All right. So this one's kind of interesting. At 22, we have Devontae Adams.
That's good.
So
fair.
I had him at honorable mention. I didn't even have him on my list.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think that with the whole trade, I think there's not much value there. I know they just got rid of Kupp, but I can't see them really targeting Adams much over Puka. I mean, I think Puka is just obviously he's going to be up here further, but I don't know. I didn't.
Oh, you guys added Puka on your list?
Yeah, like okay, Zach. All right.
I thought Adams was going to be number 1 receiver there, so I didn't.
Yeah, sure you did.
I thought this was a good spot. Yeah,
Yep. 21, we have Zay Flowers.
I like that.
Drew had him at 19. Zach,
He
did
didn't
you
make
have
mine.
him? I don't think he
Nope,
did.
didn't make it.
What?
I had him at 20.
Not on there.
So 19, 20,
Forget
and
him?
then Zach just didn't include him.
No, he's not there.
Nowhere to be seen, yeah.
Kind of like Addison,
Yeah. Well, Zay Flowers is a little more relevant than Jordan Addison. He's their
Yeah.
number 1. I mean,
Yeah, and I get the quarterback concerns. Obviously,
yeah.
like we don't.
They added
There's some,
Hopkins now. Still
Well, yeah,
got
but
okay.
tight ends.
That's not going to change much.
No, it's not.
I think Flowers will easily be top 20 this year, to be honest. I think he'll be pretty close to where
yeah.
we ranked him there.
He was so inconsistent last year.
Okay, we're
Well,
looking
yeah,
at full
sure,
year
but-
stats and overall. I mean, that's where I asked
Yeah.
a lot of questions because I'm like a talent receiver. Shoot, I could have ranked him higher.
Right.
He's a very talented receiver. But
Right. So number 20, a little surprising here, I think, because Drew had him at 24, Rashee Rice. Drew, you had Rice and Worthy like kind of combined. So
Yeah,
I just ranked them both at
I
24
was-
for the rankings. I don't think Worthy even made it. I think he was 25. Yeah.
I put pending suspension because obviously that's a question
Mhm.
we have for next season, and we have had. So
Yep. Zach and I both had him at 20, so we got
Okay,
that
that's
pretty right on. Now this one is gonna surprise Zach, I think, because I was so surprised with this on your list.
On mine?
Yeah, this player Zach had on his list, but none of us did.
Wait, hold on. Let me figure out who it is.
Can we get? We want to guess it too. Is it McMillan?
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not McMillan because he would be this high. You mentioned him.
Wait, who the heck is it?
Yeah, Zach. Nobody was high on this guy at all except for you. I didn't even include him in like anything. I didn't even think of him. Do you want me to say it?
I don't know who it is.
It's DJ Moore.
Oh, you guys didn't include him?
No. Zach had him at number 10.
10.
And
Are
we
you
didn't
guys
even have
stupid?
him. How is DJ Moore going to be top 10, Zach? Explain
Zach,
that. Go ahead.
Wasn't he like 14 last year?
Zach, you're mocking him to be like a round, like end of round 2 pick then in terms of ADP.
Yeah.
That's aggressive. That's very aggressive.
Hold
Yeah.
on. Let me look at where he was last year. All right, he was 16 last year. You know,
yeah,
you
he's
get
getting all the
another
low
year
ADOT
pick.
stuff.
What?
Yeah, they're gonna. I'm projecting them to get a high end running back. I'm projecting that offense to move a little different than it did. He was getting a lot of wide receiver screen passes. I
forgot
mainly
Ben Johnson's top wide receiver usually doesn't get the ball too much.
Dunze is on the way up too. He had a solid rookie year. I don't know.
Yeah. Look at what Ben Johnson's
he should have had the
offense
top
did
25
last
maybe.
year.
Maybe he should have cracked the 25. I would have put him at like 23, 22.
I'm considering him.
I'm
over
not putting him at
Addison
10.
Mid-teens.
Yeah.
I'll take him over Addison.
Yeah, that's fair.
Look at
I
that.
saw that on your list and I was like, wait, I don't have him on mine, or Drew didn't have it on his. And I was like, kind of forgot.
Elijah
about him.
Moore.
Okay, like I get it if you guys don't have him at 10, but not even top 25 is insane.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of cool. I thought that you'd have a hard time understanding that one. 18, we have Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay.
It's pretty similar. We all had him around 20. I had him at 18.
Yeah, having him over DJ Moore is crazy. Absolutely
Well, it's
crazy.
I don't know.
Not even close.
Okay. 17, we had T. Higgins. I
think it was a little guy on him.
I had T. Higgins at 18. Zach had him at 18. Drew had him at 17.
Oh,
so he averaged out perfectly there. Yeah. 16, Tyreek Hill. Drew had him at 13. Zach 14, and I think I had him lower. I had him at 17.
Yeah, that was.
So it's about right.
I think here's where we're gonna get more in the smooth spot, or should, but maybe not.
Yeah, I think so, but not. I mean, there'll still be some surprises here. Number 15, we have JSN, which it was pretty similar. I mean, one was middle, one was like 12, one was 17. Then at 14,
hold on, Zach had DJ Moore ahead of JSN.
Yeah. Zach had DJ Moore above all these players.
7. A 7.
Sorry.
Yeah. This one is kind of
more in every league.
Yeah, this one's kind of concerning for me because I didn't understand how low you guys were on this. But next is Garrett Wilson.
Oh yeah, I feel like I have him way lower than he should be.
Yeah, well, I had him at 6, just so you guys know. I had him at 6. Yeah.
Jared's the Garrett Wilson guy now.
I've always been a Garrett Wilson guy. Last year I had him in fantasy, and I saw his upside, but quarterback play wasn't there. So I'm not saying there's quarterback play there this year, but I'm just saying third-year player, fourth-year player. I think he's third year. He's going to be better than last year. He was terrible last year. Now there's no Devontae. Well, he wasn't good. Now there's no Devontae.
He was terrible after – he was inconsistent after Adams got
After
there.
the Adams, yep.
And he was consistent before then. So I think he'll just be fine this year. Zach, you had him at 19. And Drew had him at 16. Yeah. So I was kind of confused why I had him so high, or if I was just wrong on that. I don't know. But
I feel like looking at my list now, I probably should have had him up a little bit higher.
yeah.
But
Nah, I like my spot.
I'd say like early to mid teens, like 13 to 15 is probably where I would have put him if I remade the list.
Yeah. Well, 13 we got Terry McLaurin.
Yes.
I had him at 16. I think you guys had him higher.
I'm at 12.
And 11 for Drew. Yeah. So I was a little low on him there.
I feel like if they get another big weapon
Yeah.
at some point, he's going to go way down.
I was
They got
confused about
Ertz
this, and I
back, they
kind of
got Debo.
want you guys to explain this one. Because I had this next player at 10, but you guys had him at like 15. It's pretty close, but Mike Evans. I think he is just a number 10. You can't really not say he's not top 10. Mike Evans has
I said
been
he is top 13.
very
so.
consistent.
The point when I did my rank. Wait, where did I have him, Jared?
15.
Oh yeah, I have him at 15.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's consistent, but then again, Godwin. I still want to consider Godwin. I like McMillan. I mean, there's 3 guys there who I think have. Well, obviously one guy in Evans who I think is gonna be the top, but I think they have 3 guys who could be in the top 30. And when you get that, I can't put them higher than.
Yeah.
You think McMillan has a shot at top 30?
No, I don't think so.
At the end, at the back half, I'd say 36, top 36.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like he's going to have like, if Godwin and Evans are healthy the whole season, like he might have 2 double-digit weeks, if that.
Yeah.
But he had a nice end of the year. I mean, obviously that's a cherry
It's
pick
all
with the
touchdowns.
whole.
Like he wasn't earning targets though. He wasn't getting targets. He was just catching touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I don't honestly like in Tampa Bay. I think Godwin's gonna get more targets than Evans. Evans will just be more efficient with them, obviously, and probably score more touchdowns. But
That's the other thing.
I mean, if you look at Godwin's start to the year last year, he was on pace for I think like top 3 finish. Wasn't he wide receiver 1?
Mm-hmm.
I know it's new coordinator now, but if he stays in the slot role where he's dominating his career, I mean, that's why I have him. I have him at 16, but
Drew, you're gonna have to explain this one. AJ Brown is next at 11. So
top 5, top 6.
I had him at 14. Zach, I think you had him at
I'm the
15.
high guy on.
Drew had him at 8.
Yeah. Holy crap.
So
How'd you have him at 8?
I gotta explain my.
Yeah.
AJ Brown is he's still gonna go in the middle. I'm mocking him to be like a mid end second. I just think with, obviously we know touchdowns. We still suspect them to be there for him. Obviously with Saquon being there, you don't know about the tush push. I thought what Brown brings as a receiver. Obviously I still like Devontae Smith, but even being a Devontae Smith truther, I didn't even put him in my honorable mention and whatnot. I think he's really going to take, with limited pass attempts, I think he's going to really dominate target share. I think I thought it was actually a modest spot.
A lot of inconsistency last year, so I don't know.
He didn't dominate the target share this year. What makes you think he's going to do it next year? It's pretty much the same offense.
You could make the argument that Saquon's not going to rush for 2,400 yards this year or whatever.
I do think that was a little of an anomaly, Zach, in terms of Right? I mean, I think they're going to have to pass the ball more. Is really where I'm going to go with it. And you might say, well, teams could stop it this year, but a full season of film, I just look at it and something's got to give a little bit. I think their pass rate's got to go up.
That's fair.
Right, because we're looking next year.
Yeah. Number 10, another one that Drew had lower and we had a little higher was Ladd McConkey. I had him at
11.
I had him at 12. Right? Yeah. And then Drew had him at, I think, like 14.
It's a C, not a K.
Yeah.
It's 2 C's?
Yeah, 2 C's.
Yeah.
Wait, where did everyone have him? Sorry, I was looking.
I had him at Drew had 14, I had 12, and I think you had 11. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's around
not nothing
around
crazy.
there. Yeah. Okay, number 9. I think we were all in the exact same range. Yeah, Drake London. We had 8, 9, and 10. So he averaged to 9.
I was the low. Wow. I thought I was
Pretty-
going to be the high guy on London. I had no clue.
Yeah, no, I think that was like
I
perfect.
think he's going to be very inconsistent this year, but he's going to have some blow up games.
Well,
That's
I
what
think too I think similarly to it. Well, Brown obviously with the Eagles too. I think first I mentioned to you the first or their schedule is going to be a lot harder. It's first place opponents, and then furthermore they lost a lot of guys on defense. And I know that they obviously have rookies and such on. I think game script is going to be less friendly too, and I think potentially see it with the Falcons a little
They
bit.
got second round or second place.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
All right. Number 8. The same thing with London. It was the same exact rankings, like 9, 8, 7 was Malik Neighbors. I think I had him at 8. Zach had him at 7, and then Drew had him at 9. So it was right there. And then Zach's favorite player comes next. BTJ. All three of us. No, BT. Zach had him at 9. We both had him at 7. Drew.
Wow,
Yeah,
we
so
were the
my
high
favorite
guys.
player, and I have him the lowest.
Well, you hyped him up so high, saying he was the best receiver and this and that, and look at him. Is he? If Trevor Lawrence was better, I'd put him higher, but I don't think Trevor.
Well, Zach thought Godwin was going there, so that's why he had to.
Yeah, true.
No, I made this list after.
Okay.
Knew it wasn't going there.
Well, again, Kirk's gone. I mean, they have Ingram's gone. Obviously, they got to draft someone, but point being, like,
I feel like they're running with De'Ami Brown and Parker Washington.
hey, De'Ami Brown, another guy.
Okay, this is one that I had a lot of bias towards. Number
Pittman?
6 is Nico Collins. Yeah, Pittman. Yeah, Nico's at 6.
How low did you have him?
You guys had him at 5 and 6.
Yeah.
And I had him at 11. So
God.
I think for me it was I didn't think he was all that until like 3 games when he had like really good games, and I was like, damn, this guy's great. But there was injuries, there was a lot of inconsistency that I saw. That might be accustomed to CJ Stroud as well, not just Nico. But I just thought some of these players were a lot better.
Yeah, they brought some guys in this upcoming year because I could see him not finish at 6.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think he had
one
one
wide
breakout
receiver
year.
1.
Yeah, he's their top guy, but
yeah.
Then again, Stroud kind of regressed, and I don't know what we're expecting out of him. So there were some questions there. Number 5. This is exactly. I think the rest of this list will be pretty similar. Yeah, Puka is number 5.
Puka,
You guys had 6,
highest.
and we had 5. I had 5. Like we said, that's the reason I didn't have Adams that high, because he'll be getting 10, 12 targets a game. Okay, number 4. We're gonna throw out guesses now instead of just me telling you.
Yeah.
Who do you think number 4 was?
Jamar Chase.
No, it's gonna be
Actually, this was the second player that we all had at the same rankings. So yeah,
so it's not. It's Amon-Ra, and then it's gonna be Lamb, Jefferson, Chase.
Maybe so Zach had a different list. Zach had Lamb at 2, Jefferson at 3, but the average does come down to St. Brown, Lamb, Jefferson, Chase. Yeah. Which I thought going over this, as soon as I wrote this down, my first 2 I listed immediately were Chase and Jefferson, 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then I saw Zach's list and he had Lamb at 2. I was like, should I have considered that more? I don't know.
Okay, so looking at our consensus top 10, I guess we're just throwing top 10 out there. Us 3, we have Chase, Jefferson, Lamb, St. Brown, Nakua, Collins, Thomas Jr., Neighbors, London, and McConkey. I think that's.
Yeah. Would you make any changes to anything? I think for me personally, I would put Mike Evans. I'd change McConkey and Evans around, but that's just me. And also Garrett Wilson, I'd put at like 9 instead of 14, but I don't know.
we have a lot of these guys who, I mean, I feel like in the back half, like when we talk wide receiver run, but like between like 19 and like 14, like very touchdown dependent it feels based on how their seasons are going to go. I feel like the top 8, like we're very confident in target share and what we're going to get production wise, but I feel like those guys we could actually see fluctuate. Like they should finish around there, but they could finish a little behind or a little ahead just based on how many touchdowns they score.
Zach, so I want you to say now, who is DJ Moore better than? Is he better than Higgins, Tyreek, JSN, Garrett Wilson? Looking at the list now, where would you put him?
Harrison, Higgins, Hill, JSN, Wilson.
You really think he's better than Garrett Wilson? DJ Moore.
What?
For fantasy this year, yeah.
He's a Ben Johnson guy.
I can't say it. Yeah, I can't agree with that.
No, like,
No
okay,
way.
you think about, all right, so last year he was number 16, right?
Yep.
So first of all, this list is saying he's going to regress.
Uh-huh.
Situation got infinitely better.
Did it?
And, yeah.
We thought the same thing with Trubisky, too, year 2, didn't we? Or Jay Cutler.
Either way, you have a much better play caller. So even if Caleb Williams is the same guy
Coaching,
as last year,
coaching
Yeah.
situation got better.
Yeah.
Offensive line got better.
I mean, you look at the history of Ben Johnson in Detroit. Think about all the targets Amon-Ra got as the number 1 receiver,
Yeah.
right? You look at DJ Moore, what he has been able to do throughout his career in Carolina. He was pretty much always the top, 20 guy with, very shaky quarterback play. His 1 year with Justin Fields, he was wide receiver like 6. But so there's.
You lose me a little bit because Amon-Ra was this up and coming, rookie. Obviously, he didn't really the draft capital say that, but I mean, DJ Moore is a great veteran. Are you expecting more of like a Terry McLaurin type season, right? Obviously, McLaurin's the guy we have to draw to this, right? Because year 7, year 8 receiver, right? And then having.
So are you saying you think Odunze's gonna out target DJ Moore?
No, I never said that. I'm saying
Zach, I want to say something too to your point after.
But I'm saying that it's a different story in terms of right. Amon-Ra is this. I look at age too a little bit here too. I'm not saying DJ Moore is I'm not saying one's better because of age.
27 or 28.
Well,
he's
what,
not exactly
seventh, 8th year. It's also not as he's not. It's not like he's just entering his prime right now, right? I mean that's the point I'm making here.
He's in his prime still.
Zach,
but
I think if you take away that Thursday night game where he had like 50 fantasy points, he would have been like 20. He had that one amazing game that bumped his stats up so much. Like he wouldn't have been 16.
He had a good season outside of that.
He had an average season. He was putting up 12, 13 a week.
This point, yeah. I mean, he has an inconsistent season, but it was still a solid season.
Yeah, what do you got?
What was your point you're trying to make? Like, he's, from my perspective, he's still in his prime. Like, I don't care if Amon-Ra's in his 3rd year and he's in his 7th or 8th. They're still both number 1 receivers on offense. They're both good receivers.
I think you're overrating the coaches too much because, look, Jane Daniels and obviously what happens that year. I'm going to take Washington because I think it's the example we got to use with Terry McLaurin, his big season last year. If you're predicting that kind of big year. I say that because, a young quarterback, I think Caleb's got to improve. I think, right, we saw he's holding on the ball too long too, even with the offensive line sack concerns. But I also think the targets that DJ Moore was getting, I mean, I talked about them. Even if you just watch games, the stats point to it too. Very, behind the line of scrimmage, a lot of wide receiver screen type plays set up for him just because, Caleb couldn't get the ball out. So I guess the vision, the offensive line's better. Ben Johnson, play caller. Right, you look at the track record was great, Detroit, but look at the personnel. Personnel was phenomenal.
Yeah, I guess for me, like, I'm not really concerned about where his targets were last year because he's proven he can win downfield. Like, he's shown in other points in his career that's not what he's limited to as a receiver. And still, like, going back to what I was comparing him to St. Brown, it's not like St. Brown's, like his average target isn't 20 yards downfield either. Like, he's very much a underneath type guy. So
Yeah,
I think it fits the mold of a receiver that has fit very well in Ben Johnson's offense before, and he's right in the middle of his prime, and he's already proven he's a good receiver. So
I'll
like I
admit
said,
that we
maybe 10
we
is
should have we
too
should have
high,
included him, but I can't put him anywhere close to
I should
10.
put him in the 20s.
I would still say Zay Flowers is better. I would put him at like 21.
Yep. He's a wide receiver too. Back end wide receiver too.
Mm-hmm.
But
at 10, you're making it seem like
I'll
you
take
have
him
him in a 10-team league as your number one receiver that you're going to win the league. I don't think that's.
I'm taking him over Godwin, Addison, and Worthy. I think I get tough with Adams, Zach.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where but also with Rice. I mean, it's easy. We could say Rice. Oh, there's a suspension there. We move one of these guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Rice overall is just like it's hard to rank him right now without knowing.
He was amazing until he got.
Oh yeah. He's a big. He's a question mark. That's why I had him at 24, I believe. So
if he was playing the full season, I think we'd all have him probably top 15, right?
Sure. Yeah, he'd be higher. Yeah. But point is like more. Where I look at him, I'd have him. He'd still be a wide receiver too, just back end, which obviously is well off where you had him initially ranked. But I think that's ahead of consensus. I think consensus had him. I don't know. I think it was
I think he's either maybe back end wide receiver 1 or high end wide receiver 2.
Okay, so what kind of draft capital you'd give up for him then? It seems you.
In a dynasty league.
Yeah. I think for a dynasty, I bet you could get him for a good price based on this kind of interest.
Late first is kind of where he's going for right now, right?
Really?
Well, would you not give up a late first? You have the 110. You wouldn't give that for him?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I found it very hard to trade rookie picks in this year's draft. Like nobody is buying picks yet.
Yeah, I'm holding. I mean, that's where I actually stockpiled 25 rookie draft picks. Well, obviously this totally backfired, but I have like 3 in one league. I got 2 in another.
I told Drew, I think that's true. I was trying to trade the 201. I was trying to include in a deal, and I basically got told that the pick is basically worthless. Like there's might be one guy there that's worthwhile.
201?
At the 201.
It's crazy to me.
Who said that? You don't need to drop names.
As a guy that I don't, you probably don't know him. This is a different league. I don't even know him.
I feel like the 201 is going to be valuable. Maybe I'm a.
As someone who doesn't have any first round picks like myself, I would.
I was really shocked because how that league's set up too. It's a super flex one, right?
Yeah. So I mean, like if you do a mock draft right now, like Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, Matthew Golden, like that's the kind of range.
That's a heavy quarterback league. I mean, like he is the 201's very valuable.
Touchdown too.
Yeah, it's very valuable in that format. That's why I was just so confused with what you said because I was like, I think the 201, I think where I was in this draft and I was starting to like kind of lose interest in picks was like between after the 2-6 was like, I'm getting guys who I like, but I don't love.
It's like you need the first couple picks of the second round. Otherwise it's
because I some drafts too, we've seen like, we've seen some of those quarterbacks who might be enticing for some super flex teams end up there. I mean, I got Penix very late last year, like bringing that up because just he goes different in either drafts. People that need quarterback and obviously situation too there, but this was a very good exercise. I feel.
Do you want to do quarterbacks or running backs next week?
Tight ends.
No. Well, actually, tight ends. That's where I cook.
No.
That is where
I don't think I can rank 25 tight ends.
Yeah.
Brenton Strange would be number like 13 or something. I'd be like,
we're debating where Brenton Strange goes. Hey, they didn't bring anyone back. He's a huge winner.
Brenton Strange.
You can talk me into him.
I honestly think they're gonna go through the season with him as number one.
You don't think they're good?
Drew, I have a question. How did you make your list? Did you look at stats? Did you think about it just off the top of your head?
Yeah. Well, so what I did, I looked at next year. I try to really forecast like how I think players are going to play out. I mean, in game scripts, I really try to think of it that way. That's where you see guys like Brown, I think more so higher. And then I did look at little stats like how players finished last year in terms of fantasy points, but then it kind of factored in their own situation in a unique way. I thought the hardest spot to rank, which totally should have been, was between 22 and 25.
Yeah.
It was just I really hated I think I had Sutton. I even put Sutton up there. I have him at 25.
Yeah.
I asked this simply because I feel like if I know you already made your list. When I make my list, if I just look at like projections and stats from last year, we're all going to have like the same names in the top 5, top 10.
Yeah.
Whereas if we just do it off of what we think, off of what we know already, I feel like we'll have a lot more differing answers. That'll be kind of interesting to see. Yeah. When I did my list, I didn't really look at anything. I just kind of thought I looked at teams. And like I would think, okay, the Jets, Garrett Wilson, is he better than? Then I looked and I saw the Texans. It's like Nico. No, not quite. Or yes, he is. And I did it that way. I didn't really look at ADP or stats from last year. And I mean, it's okay if you do, it's fine. I just think that's something that'll give us like more of a variety.
More variety. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Rico got up to $6 million on his deal.
Wow.
1-year deal.
6.
You know what? I do want to bring up Cortland Sutton, though. I thought that was a guy who I actually had ranked that we don't see on here. I know he's some of the honorable mentions you listed, but
he's one of the 24, 25. He's one of those two.
Yeah.
I had him at 23 on my list.
Okay.
He was 25. Yeah, I had him as an honorable mention. I think Drew, you had him at 25.
Oh, I did. Maybe I was lower.
I think so, and then I didn't rank him.
But I'm like, well, and obviously Ingram comes, but still, besides, I'm like, they got to have a guy. No Packers or Colts on this list was the other thing, which shouldn't be surprising. Obviously, Pittman, I was almost like
maybe like top 30, maybe at best.
Well, top 30 was where I was going to say Pittman.
Yeah.
And then I just couldn't put, Reed. I mean, if we do top 36, I could get him on there. But when I brought up McMillan, like that's I think they have varying outcomes. But in that again, I know it's an extreme example because target shares and whatnot. But
that's why I think running backs will be the most interesting because there's like Zach, for example, Bucky Irving. Like I didn't think he'd be even close to top 10 or top 5, but Zach had him above JT. Like I think we should do that next.
Do running back. Dynasty running back rankings where he's like number 4 or 5.
Yeah. Well, bring that next week. Send me. Drew already sent me his running back stuff. Send me your running back stuff. We'll do that next week then.
JT's ahead of Bucky. I'll tell you that right now, Zach.
For this year?
Well, I have it on me, yeah. Yep. I have a couple rookies high. I have 2 rookies in mind. I'll just shush from there.
Gentine Hampton.
Okay. Well, yeah.
No more surprises.
You got it. I mean,
it's tough for those guys because it really depends where they go.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
We should do a rookie draft before the actual draft. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
What's
that?
How early do you guys think Hampton's going to go?
I got to pull up what teams, but to give you an exact spot, but I think he's going to go in the teens.
Really? Is he really going to go that high?
I think so.
I haven't done much research on him, to be honest. Seriously?
Yeah. I feel like it's like
what's with you guys just abandoning like any history with running backs in the draft, and you're just saying nope. He has.
We texted about this. Yeah, that was like.
I know, but a good point. I just don't feel like it's regular for 2 running backs to go in the top 12. Like that's insane.
I think it's Bijan Gibbs, right? Obviously, Genty is getting the hype that Bijan got.
Okay.
Nobody talked about. Well, obviously, like people are talking about Gibbs, but not a whole lot. And all of a sudden, Detroit traded up to, I think he was 12 and got him at 12.
Yeah, it was about there, yeah.
And everyone was shocked. But it kind of seems like the same thing. Everyone's talking about Genty. Hampton he's a very good running back prospect.
Yeah.
Like he's going first round for sure.
Most years, like the whole Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jonathan Taylor draft in, what was it, 2020, 2021? Everyone's like, maybe one will go in the first round, maybe. And then CEH went at like 30, and then JT went like 36.
I think how we value running backs has changed just in that 5-year stretch, though, a lot. And that's where I'm trying to actually – I have a sore spot for that. I really do in terms of like I was texting that. I was like, oh, well, not to be an Eagles hater. I had Brown list high, so I'm not an Eagles hater. But Saquon, that extension, that was a lot of guaranteed for that. And then the two positions usually don't extend. They did both, a linebacker, that deal, and then Barkley. So obviously you could make the arguments, whatever.
Sucks for AJ Dillon, huh? No, who it sucks for is Boston Scott. Oh, horrific. Even like Kenneth Gainwell.
He left to Pittsburgh. He left to Pittsburgh.
Who did?
Gainwell.
Oh, did he? Okay, cool.
So you're okay. Yeah. You're safe.
Cool. I can start him with Braylon Allen. That's good. Right.
No,
Boston Scott's going through it right now. He's like a third, fourth option.
Is he even on
he's not even on the Eagles. I doubt he's.
I don't think so.
I don't even know where he was. Probably in China or something, or overseas playing.
Jared, what we were talking about though is like especially this season, the value of a running back increased a lot, which kind of like probably started back when the 49ers traded for CMC. Like I think that's kind of when started. Maybe. Like the full season of CMC, like the part season, like the season they traded him, probably not so much, but the full season when they went to the Super Bowl, he had a phenomenal year. And then last year we saw Saquon now. And like as defenses continue to play too high to stop the explosive passing games that we saw in like the late 2010s, early 2020s.
Crazy saying that, but yes.
But my problem is you take out, I know Barkley is amazing, but you take Barkley out, you put in Gainwell last year, he was still rushing for like 100 yards a game. Like, can a running back really do that much? It's more offensive line and blocking schemes and offensive coordinator play calls.
If you put Gainwell in, he gets all the touches that Saquon got. He's probably rushing
1,600, maybe,
1,200, 1,300. He's not still.
I mean, there were games where Saquon would rush for 250, and then Gainwell comes in and rushes for 130. Just on top of
that. But he's like Gainwell wouldn't have the explosive runs that Saquon did.
Well, no,
the missed tackles.
There's definitely a talent gap.
Missed tackles, the backwards hurdle, like
the one time, like calm down.
No, there's good points. Like there's the quantifiable, the force or the missed tackle rate, and
by no means, no means am I saying like Saquon's good and like bad.
Yards above expected, like
that's the other one.
Yeah. I think it's measured after like first contact and then yards after.
That was the other stat,
yeah.
Yards after contact. There's a lot of stats where just Saquon is.
I know Saquon's the best in the league. I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying, you're saying how valuable running backs are now. I think it's just biased because of Saquon this last year. If they lost in the Super Bowl, people wouldn't be saying that. I mean, people would be like, they're still impressive, but I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying there's so many teams that can just throw in a running back and have the team just fine.
We're just saying the league's valuing it like that, Jared. You know what I mean? Like we're not. I'm not disagreeing with your point. I still think there's some validity to that. I just think how the league's moving forward. I mean, Saquon just got the most money ever for running back, and then how we continue to progress with running backs being drafted higher. I think other teams are starting to do the same.
Yeah, my point is more like the Eagles. Yeah, they got Saquon, but they were a great team outside of Saquon. Look at the Falcons. They got Bijan, who is supposed to be this great running back. He's a great running back, sure. But they're still a 500 team at best. A running back like Jetty is not going to make you make the playoffs. Well, they'd be a 5-6 win team instead of a 7-8 win team. But either way, like it's not good.
2 wins a season for a single position.
A worse draft pick
for that.
Yeah, but you get a better quarterback, you can win 13-14. Like quarterbacks, receivers, linemen, defense. There's so much higher.
Nobody's arguing. Yeah, you're totally right. Quarterback is number one. I'm not.
Yeah.
Nobody. But running backs aren't number
6,
22 anymore.
They weren't.
Yeah. I'm saying they're valuable. Sure. Yeah, they are. But even like the Colts, like JT's fine. Yeah, but we didn't make the playoffs. We weren't above 500, and JT had 1,300 yards, 1,400 yards. Like he had a good year. He missed a few games too, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's more like if you're a playoff team, don't be afraid to go get a running back and pay a running back. Like that's where it is. Like if you're the Titans right now, like don't pay a running back. Like that's not going to make you a playoff team.
Yeah.
But if you're kind of fringe playoff team, like if Dallas had Derrick Henry last year, they would have been a different team. I mean, just
they went to
look about how.
I'll tell you that, but not with Dak's injury.
But like
they would have won a few more games, sure.
look at how they played when Rico was playing good at the end of the year versus the beginning of the year. It was
Rico was
totally
good.
different offense.
I had Rico
Well,
and
stop giving
Brian
Zeke
Robinson.
attempts.
They won me a third place in a fantasy league or second place, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I hate
Or
that he
like-
went to Carolina though.
Washington's another team that I think like they should go out and get a running back. Someone that's better than Brian Robinson.
What about Eckler?
Eckler's fine, yeah. People just think like, oh, he had one bad year. He's 30 years old. He's washed.
He had a nice year last year, Zach.
He did.
He had
Todd
very-
Gurley
Yeah,
is, like,
Eckler's fine, but
32,
I'm like
and he's out of the
I'm
league.
saying like they should get like Eckler's a good pass catching running back.
Yeah.
Like he's good at what he does, but he's not
What
he's
is
not
it?
that
He's
running
not-
back that's gonna
what is-
elevate you like
You sure about that?
What do they do with him? Release him?
no, keep him. He could like keep him in the passing game.
So okay, you just think they should have a 3-man
I'm-
attack, if you will.
Get somebody better than Brian Robinson. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. So yeah, okay,
Zach
I got
hates
that.
Brian Robinson. We talked about this.
He
I don't know
always
why.
has.
I don't
I
know
mean,
why.
he's
He's
not,
been in the league
like-
for like 3 years.
I ranked him as
And
a
he's
top
been
25
great.
running back.
Yeah, he's been great.
Not 25.
I would probably
He's-
rank him top 25 too. He's been amazing.
Very
Like
efficient.
touchdown reliant. No, he's not, Zach. He had weeks
He's-
where he just
he's
didn't get the
Ignaji.
ball. He had
He's
weeks like
Ignaji.
Bijan a couple years, like that one year when he got like one carry. Brian
I
Robinson
have
had
him
a
higher
week where
than
he got, like,
Najee.
3
Or I have
carries.
Najee higher.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah, but like they're very similar players, right?
But saying he's terrible is just not true at all. Like he's not a bad running back.
I agree with Jared.
I know you're trying to trade him. And
Right.
You sent that whole trade, but
Yep. Oh wait,
That's already Jared.
yeah.
That trade is gone.
Is it?
Yeah,
All right.
now I gotta find a running back though, because I'm starting right now.
what league? What league can I trade with you?
Yeah.
It's not a league you're in.
All right, that'll wrap it then. Myself, Drew Skyberg, along with Zack Rausch and Jared Valleskey. Thank you all for listening to another episode of Drew Sports Crew, the Journey Million, the perfect podcast for you.